Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Grain Gauntlet. As always, 5 questions from our current clients and from potential prospects. This is Patrick. I'm Josh. You ready to go?
I am. As an empty nester, I'm ready to rip.
Fair.
My daughter went to college this weekend. I'm smiling because she's really enjoying it already. So let's get at it.
Absolutely. All right, first question this week says, why did corn rally after such a bearish report?
Wow, that's a great question. Whoever came up with that one. Yeah, total surprise, right? I mean, we see 1 billion bushels of ending stock added to total supply from 16 billion to 17 billion. We dropped 15 cents, and then every day since that 15-cent drop, we've been up. What gives? I truly believe that the market pays way too much attention to supply and demand numbers supplied by the USDA for the end of next year. We have 2.1 billion bushels at the end of August of 2026. Right now, we got 1.3 billion bushels of ending stock going into September. That's not a whole lot. That's really tight. On top of that, Brazil's behind in harvest. So people are coming to us because we're cheap and it's available, but it's not because farmers aren't selling. Bottom line is the short-term supply issue that will clear up, and when it does, it will end with a bang. End users will widen bases, they'll get out of their buybacks, and this thing will drop to harvest lows as we suspect. It's just going to be about 60 days later than the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's a matter of, you got end users will get what they need to get through to when new crop comes, and you also got farmers are gonna at some point they're gonna act all the loads. So both of those are gonna happen.
Yes, and within the next 30 days,
It doesn't matter if they come at the same time or which comes first, but they're both coming.
Yep. And in 2 weeks, a week, we don't know when. Nobody does. But when it happens, it's going to happen by section. Low elevators come widen bases, and that will be the start. We'll see that with bases widening first.
Okay. All right. Next question says, how does the U.S. price per corn compare to Brazil's?
We're about $40 per metric ton.
Yeah, it's been on there for quite a while. Normally they'd be lower than us by now, but they've been quite a bit higher.
Right. And so that's weird. And that's why demand is so good. And that's why end users can't get corn. That's why we rally. Again, Brazil started to pick up pace.
Right. Yeah.
And their price is starting to come down. With ours coming up, it's going to match pretty soon at this pace. And then all hell will break loose to the downside.
Yeah, they're still getting used to, you grow, you expand so much, that's a lot more corn to move, and they're still in that issue of getting adjusted to it. So they had a late harvest, logistical issues, but they're finally coming to market now.
We're going to have some of those too. I'll explain later.
All right. This next question says, everyone is starting to talk about the bongs being in, and I've seen it a lot. I still see it this morning, regardless of what we're talking about right here. Are you recommending we get long in the hedge account?
Heck no, danger, Red Rover. I am looking for a spot to get more aggressively hedged. Are we covering by moving bought puts out and down a little bit to make us a little bit less short right now? Sure, I want to keep people within the margin that they can afford, but to get net long, no, because when this ends, like I said, it's going to end with a bang, and we're going to drop hard. We just have two. Where are you going to put an extra 1 billion bushels of corn that the USDA says we're going to have for a supply? Maybe it won't be that much, or it's going to be a lot. Where we put that, it's going to be piles and piles throughout the Midwest. That's when the low is going to be in. My job is to protect and not have my guys experience that low by having them hedge first and then be able to do buybacks. So no, it's not low enough yet for us to do buybacks.
I don't see right or wrong. Initiating buybacks at this point, if it is wrong, it would be such a massive risk. Something being long on both sides of the market. If the prices go back down and we haven't hit lows yet, that would be pretty much disastrous.
And we're 25% sold in new crop corn and beans, right? I mean, if it goes up another 25 cents, yay, I can press another 35%, and then look for a buyback at the lowest. We're going to move lower, people. It's going to happen.
Okay. Next question says, is it even possible for anything coming out of this crop tour this week to be any more bearish than 188.8 yield?
I actually don't think so. I've heard some significant rust issues in Iowa. I've heard dryness issues in part of the eastern corn belt for the last 30 days. Some guys haven't gotten any rain. I think 188 is going to be the biggest number that we see, and the crop tour is going to verify that. They're going to talk about some issues that we have, and it's not perfect. We're going to have a big crop, don't get me wrong, but to take 3 or 4 bushels off, I think is likely.
Yeah, I remember last year's crop tour. It was gloom and doom. Oh my gosh, the crop looks fantastic, and well, for eventually a 188.8 yield, all they can probably worst case is just confirm that it's gonna be a great crop. If anything, maybe they'll even introduce some trouble spots and some concerns that but to be even any more bearish than 188.8, I really think that's possible. I agree. So maybe the crop tour won't be such a downer white cloud over us this year. Yeah. All right, last question. This one's from a prospect. It's one question I received, but that Christian says, once I'm signed up with the Hedge Plus, what's the first step you take to getting me going on your plan?
Getting to know where you're at, how many bushels you have sold, where's your risk tolerance, what's your risk tolerance in the hedge account, what is your bin space, what do you usually do, when do you usually need cash flow during the course of the year. All those factors factor into our individuality of each plan that we make. We need to get to know you and your operation, and then tailor things off of that. So really having conversations back and forth before we do anything about where you're at with everything, what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable, we're not going to do a good job for you. So we got to get you comfortable and got to tailor that plan to fit your operation.
Right. And, obviously we can only make salesmen on the market, warrants them other than if they have to sell because of storage. But the biggest thing about it is getting people on a good schedule, getting them used to making forward sales, something I took for granted and assumed that everybody was doing. I'm learning more and more that, a lot of forward sales aren't being made. And so I think that's starting point. So you can't do that on day one, but we can get you right pretty quick. And then within a year, you'll get a good schedule.
Right. And the reason we put everything on the website is so you see where the sales are. So, because I'll tell you, to be straight up and honest, renewals the first year are the hardest too. Once somebody renews the first year, they're usually with us pretty long term. I've had a guy that's been with us since 1999, before Hedge Plus was even in place. And the reason the first year is difficult is because they hear us make a recommendation and guys go, okay, I'm thinking about that. They don't do it. Okay. They don't trust yet. And so we have to earn that trust. My dad told me a long time ago, nobody gives you trust. You have to earn it. And so it takes time to earn that. And as we go through the first year, they start to see not every sale is the best sale, but overall, we do a really good job on cash sales, getting better than the average by far almost every single year. So they start to trust that as a constant and a good thing.
And the renewal rate well over 95%. So
yep,
we definitely have earned that trust with our people over time.
Yep.
Okay, sure. Good. That's all for this week. Thank you for the questions, everyone. As always, if you have a question you want heard answered on this program, email it to adminstaff@hedge-plus.com. Again, we've got the crop tour this week. Hopefully that goes well, and I'll talk to you again next week.
Any advice for a new empty nester that you can share, I'd be welcome to hear that. Have a great week.
Sounds good. All right.